Hey friends, are you ready to have some fun? Yeah, I'm ready to have some fun. Hi, it's David from Learn Stage Lighting, and today we're continuing with these beauties, the Modscenes hoists that are flying behind me, running an awesome pixel fire pattern, and also a cool sine wave, and across the fixtures. And today, I want to talk about the physical setup and show you guys how to set these hoists up. You may think, and there's a lot of misconceptions out there, right, that when you're working with something like these hoists that are hanging overhead, that it's really, really complicated. And it really doesn't have to be. Lightweight hoists that only hold a small amount of weight like these can actually be controlled by DMX, like we're doing here, and are not all that complicated, and at the end of the day, are a really, really cool addition to a lot of stage sets. We're going to walk through the setup of these DMX hoists from Modscenes, which you can get through Learn Stage Lighting gear. So first things first, you want to grab a wrench. I'm a big fan of the Mega Combo wrench from the Light Source. That's actually the clamp that Modscenes provides with their rentals. We recommend the Mega Claws. They're a great clamp. These wrenches are pretty good for the Modscenes hoist, but a regular old 8-inch or 6-inch wrench is also very helpful. I'll show you why in a second. Okay, so first things first, you go ahead and you want to pop your clamp onto your fixture, right? So the fixture is this box, okay? Oops, pull that piece of tape I'd thrown on there off with the address. Okay, pull the tape off the box. So put the clamp on the box, okay? That's step number one, okay? And so what I did was I threaded it on like you would with a clamp, used my small Light Source wrench here, big fan of these, we sell them as well, and tighten that up. Now, I'm hanging it on a ladder here, somewhat awkward, not what you would do in real life, but it was quick, it was easy, and it demonstrates the point. Normally, you'd put them on a truss or a pipe like we've got here, okay? So you want to secure it. You want to put the safety cable around your pipe or truss to keep it safe. But the most important thing is, and where this really varies from a regular fixture, is you don't want to apply DMX and power yet, okay? There is a power switch. They ship them in the off position, which is wise, but I recommend veering off the Modscenes instructions a little, and don't even wire up power yet. Don't do it, okay? Just don't do it. And here's why. Okay, so the basic gist is when you're working with hoists like these, oh, and I was going to mention the tightening of the bolts on top of the box, the pan bolt, is where these Mega Combo wrenches on this particular Omega bracket get a little bit tight. Okay, so Omega bracket goes in the box, clamp goes on the Omega bracket. I suppose you could put the clamp on the Omega bracket, then tighten it down to the box with the Allen screws. That's your choice, okay? But seriously though, great setup. Orientation-wise, you really can hang these in any direction you want, okay? So like right now, I have them side to side. That's what worked really well for what I've got going on here. But there's no reason why, it's a single clamp unit, there's no reason why you couldn't turn it on its clamp and have it hang this way, right? Which is where I'm going to hang it for a moment here. Okay, so there's really no reason why you couldn't do that. You could pretty much put them any direction as long as the cable comes straight down. Okay, that's going to be your big key, is that this cable coming out of the bottom here, this wire, which is going to hold our fixture in a minute, you got to have that going straight down. If it's not, you're going to have issues, okay? It's not going to be a happy hoist, and happy hoists make for great shows. Okay, so what step is next? Okay, next I want to hang the fixture. So in this case, I'm not going to do the full hang here, but I've got one of these 3-foot tubes that I've mistakenly called 4-foot tubes before. They are 1 meter or roughly 3 feet. The hanging process goes like this. Grab the carabiner supplied with the fixture. You'll also see it has a 4-pin cable on the top here for its power and data. See that right there? And what I like to do, and I know I don't have a lot of height here to actually do it fully, is I want to put it through the clip. So there's some receiving holes for the clip. And at the same time, I'm going to go ahead and plug it in. There's a notch on the plug and a notch on the receiver. We're going to line those up, and then we're in business. Press down, lock the locking ring around the edge, and boom. Now that fixture is hung. Now, in a perfect world, and if we were not hanging this off of a ladder here in our studio, now this fixture would be hanging freely in the air as these fixtures behind me are. So this is where we kind of switch to this view behind, okay? Now you're gonna notice the bottom of the hoist, if you've got these in person, when you do receive them from Modscenes, they have the cable. I hope we can see this on the close-up camera a little bit. The cable here comes out of the hole from the bottom of the hoist, zip ties to just a little stud here, and then moves on, okay? Now, once you've got the weight of the fixture hanging on the hoist, you can now go ahead and clip the zip tie with a pair of wire cutters or small scissors. The key here is don't cut the wire that the hoist travels on, or else you're not going to have a hoist anymore, right? It's not going to work. Okay, so take your cutters so that the cutting edge is against the zip tie, but the dull edge, the backside of the cutter, for safety's sake, is away from the Kevlar reinforced lifting cable. Okay, your data and your power and your lift is all happening from that cable. If you damage it, you're going to have problems. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We want you to be happy. Okay, once you've got that, so now we've got it hung, we've got the fixture hung on it, we have clipped the zip tie that is hanging the fixture from the hoist. Okay, now it's hanging down a little bit. Now we're able to go ahead and apply power. Okay, so now you can hook up power. These boxes are great because they do offer on the top of them. I'm just going to pull this off of here. Pull this fixture off so we can show you real nicely. Bye, fixture. That we've got on the top here. Jeopardy music. We've got on the top here power con in and through. I hope that's visible on the camera there, or else we'll switch back over. So there's blue power con in and through. There's a power switch, and then there's DMX in and through. Okay, 5-pin and 3-pin. So this is the point of the show where we hook up power and we power the hoist on. You can technically plug in DMX, but I would go ahead and wait until you've addressed all of the fixtures that are powered up and ensured they're in the correct mode before you even plug in DMX. Definitely before you plug it into your console. Okay, here's why. So, like I said, you can wire them. Say you wire all your units together with DMX. I actually did that here. Take the end that's going into your console, your DMX node, what have you, and go ahead, run it to the end and leave that hanging. Don't plug it into the console. Why are we so firm about not plugging it into the console? Well, if you know DMX, and maybe you do, maybe you don't, because obviously you're here at Learn Stage Lighting. We design this stuff for beginners to intermediate level folks who want to create amazing lighting, right? So with DMX, say out of the box, these are addressed to DMX address 1. That's very common, okay, from testing. If you plug those into your console, and your console is transmitting to some other light on DMX 1, channel 1, then there is a chance that the channel, which I believe is channel 4, channel 5, for the vertical lift would be activated, okay? Now, these hoists have a 29-foot reach to them, meaning that when they're up in the air, say you hang them up in the air 15 feet. If that DMX channel was at full, that fixture on the cable is going to fall that full 29 feet, okay? When that happens, it will hit the ground. And if your speed is at full, which is full speed is 0% on the speed channel, it will get there fast. And when it hits the ground and the weight releases from the fixture, okay, it would push up basically on the fixture inside the hoist here, it's going to unravel. It's going to become loose. It's like if you've ever used just a manual crank hoist or a winch like on a vehicle to pull something, like on a truck, right? You know that if that winch becomes loose, it's going to unspool basically and get all gnarly, and then honestly get dangerous because it'll get skippy and it'll get jumpy and it won't be good. Okay, that is when you have for yourself a 45-minute lunchtime project. Modscenes has great instructions to where you would have to redo the cable. Okay, you would have to re-spool the hoist on the inside, take a bunch of screws out. It's not that complicated, but you don't want to have to do it. So how do you prevent re-spooling the hoist, having to do that? Well, again, there's two ways. So powering it and not hooking up DMX first is the first step. Okay, you want to power it, go on the menu on the side of the fixture of the hoist box, set that DMX address. Okay, then make sure, again, double, triple, quadruple check that you have it patched in your console, that the channels are correct, and that for the lift height, the actual lifting channel of the fixture, you have that DMX value set to 0. Then you can plug in DMX, okay? Because what you're going to need to do, and we'll cover this in our next video on programming these, is you're going to need to set yourself some sort of a limit in your lighting software or console so that you say to yourself, okay, this fixture cannot travel any further than this distance, because if you do, say you take a whole rig of them, you travel them too far, they're going to hit the ground, they're going to lose tension, and you're going to have a bunch of work to do. Nobody wants that. Okay, I don't mean to scare you, but you just got to be diligent, and it's going to work really well. The other way that you could unspool your hoist is if you power it on and apply DMX on the lift channel while the zip tie is still intact. And then it's not hanging free like these are, so then it would still be zip tied up here, and it would let out a bunch of line, and boom, you're unspooled. Okay, so those are the two primary ways that these things get unspooled, and it's a pain, kind of a pain to fix. It's not a massive deal, it's just not what you want to do with your Saturday afternoon, right? So then you can apply DMX, then you can get ready to program. Now I know this might seem like a lot and it took a few minutes to explain, but I really wanted to take the time to get this right, because ultimately, if you see what's going on behind us here, we'll even move the ladder a little. If you see what's going on behind us here, where we've got this awesome kinetic motion combined with this pixel mapped control of these lights, it's like, okay, this is cool. And not only is it really cool, but it's actually more affordable than you might think. So here's the homework. If you're interested in these, thank you for watching this video. Then head over to LearnStageLightingGear.com. Check out these DMX pixel hoists from Modscenes. We've got squares, which that's a circle. We've got circles. We've got a square, which is very similar to this circle. And then we've got the tubes, which are pixel mapped. Okay, how stinking cool is that? We got all this stuff over at Learn Stage Lighting Gear, and we would love to help you get your hands on it. So check that out. In our next video, we're going to talk about all sorts of DMX control, and I'm going to show you some stuff in Onyx, some really cool ways to program these so you can get the most out of them, really make it interesting. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys in our next video. Thanks.